Hello everyone, TLSG here, back again with another Daily Marvel Snap video. So today we have a good old reliable deck, and that is Death Wave. Death Wave is one of those that it's never necessarily broken. It's never hovering above 60%. It usually hovers around mid 50% win rate. But what it has going for it, what the advantage that it has is that it's very easy to navigate. It is really easy to know when you should snap, when you just should stay, when you should risk it, whenever you should retreat. It's very easy to identify when you have the lead or whenever you don't. And so then with that, you can mitigate your big cube losses and maximize your big cube gains much more efficiently and much more effectively. And so anytime there's a little bit of disruption in the meta, anytime we're seeing a lot of kind of uncertainty, this is a deck that I kind of go to. And especially if we're seeing more on the flood side of things, if we're seeing a lot of Khazar Zoo, if we're seeing a lot of Hitmonkey, sometimes Shuri, we can put Shuri in a difficult spot because we can outposition and outplay them on that last turn. We can do a Shang-Chi and a She-Hulk, a Shang-Chi and a Death. And then just be able to outvalue them on that last turn. But that's not necessarily always favored, but it is possible to win. The one deck that this doesn't do fantastic against is a Galactus. We don't have any active counters to a Galactus play. What we have to rely on for the Galactus play line is that we can hopefully outvalue them on the last turn. If we drop initiative, if they have it, then we can do a Shang-Chi and a Death and a She-Hulk. We can drop all of those on the last turn, hoping to outpower the opponent so that we swing it in our favor. We want to drop initiative in those games where they are going to get Galactus off. But otherwise, every other deck that I've ran into, this can hold its own, depending on if you get your good draw or not. And one of the things that hurts this deck probably the most is a Leech. And so if you're seeing a lot of Thanos Leech, you have to play around knowing that they potentially have the Leech. Sometimes you're going to curve your wave into Dr. Doom early. Sometimes you're going to not hold your cards for that greedy last turn play, and you're just looking to put raw value onto the board so that whenever they do the low tempo play of the Leech, you can still hold your own and find a way to win, even if you don't have your ideal play. So I started the day experimenting with some other decks, and I ended up going 2 out of 15. I won 2, I lost 13 games. The worst stretch of games that I think I've had ever. And then I switched to this, which is a very well-established, very consistent deck, and I ended up going 10 out of 15. So I won 10, I lost 5 for a 66% win rate. I had a net cube gain of 25, and so a bit over 1 cube per game on average. And so overall, the list runs very, very well. And if you have these cards and you're not certain on what to run, this is one that you can usually identify your wins and losses pretty easily, so you can retreat when you need to, or you can snap and press your advantage and play aggressively whenever you think you have the advantage as well. And so if you want to see more of this deck and any of the other decks live, make sure to be following us on twitch.tv/TLSGSnap. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, first up we have Prodigy. And I realized that this, if you're anywhere close to bot MMR, I realized why this one kind of stands out, and that's because it does really good at kind of surprising the bots on the last turn, because all of a sudden you go from 0 power to a bunch of power. You can swing a lot of lanes, tricking them into snapping or double snapping against you. Now Prodigy I know is a real player, and they are running looks like a Shuri deck. So surely we can find a way to win. And actually, with this location being this close to being capped out, I'm feeling okay. Wow. They play. There's no way they have like a Carnage or something similar, right? A Polaris. Okay. So they opt to cap out the right lane. I assume trying to make us cap it out. Luckily, we had our Deathlok, our Carnage, so we cleared that lane up. And we get some additional benefit there. Now all we have to do to swing this lane is drop our Dr. Doom, and we are perfectly fine. Now it comes down to a question of, do we snap? I can snap. We can. I think we're gonna win this one. But I also think if we snap, we're gonna run them off. So I'm just gonna slow play it so that we can see the rest of the game play out. They only have 3 spaces left to play in, so it becomes very, very difficult for them to do really much of anything or get much going. So let's go ahead and do wave. Ooh, wow, they play She-Hulk. Oh, and Negasonic. Okay. Interesting that they went with the Negasonic build. Maybe this isn't Shuri. Maybe this is more control heavy instead, but we are still going to be able to take it. Oh, and then we top deck the death. It's, when it rains, it pours. I'm gonna go ahead and do She-Hulk, Death, and then we're gonna do Doctor Doom to the side. This should swing this location. It should lock in mid, and then left lane should be ours with the just the massive amount of power that we're putting there. They had a Doctor Doom of their own that they were really leaning in on, and so we do have a little bit more reach than they did. So we're gonna go ahead and we will take it. That's an incredibly high roll, but it is part of, like, it's so simplistic in the play lines that you can do some really impactful plays. You can do some really restrictive plays at times as well. And it works so incredibly well in like less certain areas, or when there's not a standout deck. And so we're gonna go ahead and take the 2 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have winter. It's not summer, it's winter. I don't know, winter is coming, Game of Thrones reference. I feel like I make the same one every single time I match into winter. So we probably need to get some more original content. We do have Iceman that we play out early. If we get Shang-Chi, we can help swing. Oh, well, speaking of Shang-Chi, there he is. We can help swing this left lane. Vormir's a little bit tough, but I mean, it adds to our destruction. It discounts our death even further, so we can really lean into that. Do they have an Electro? Oof. This deck doesn't do fantastic against Galactus, because we did end up cutting the Arrow, which is our big like Galactus counter. And so if this is Galactus, we're oh, Leech. Wow, it's rough. It's rough and kind of rude. Mean winter. So an Electro, it has to be an Electro ramp deck, something that wants to run Sandman, Arrow, Odin, Doctor Doom, Odin, which I assume probably Doctor Doom comes down here, and then maybe we see an Odin. We'll see. We do top deck the, oh no, Jubilee. We do top deck the Bucky Barnes, and so we get some good. Oh, it's unfortunate. So we get some good value here. And we get Wave now, Doctor Doom. None of these are fantastic. So I'm just going to end up doing She-Hulk on the right. They're going to have to impact all 3 lanes. If they do a Doctor Doom, which is why I'm playing into Mojo World, if they do a Doctor Doom, that's only 5 here, 5 here. And that would tie them in this lane. They'd lose this one, and then we'd be able to win this one after everything kind of calculated and was said and done. So we're going to stick to that. If we had our Doctor Doom, that's the more ideal play line. But yeah, I do think it puts them in a very difficult spot. Sometimes if you don't have anything else going, Leech is such a low tempo like drawback that it's really hard to maintain the lead after just dropping it naturally. And so there's certain decks that it's absolutely required for. Other times it may be too low tempo to get value from. We're gonna go ahead and take the 2 cubes. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Kilometers Morales. I get a good chuckle every time I see the name. Was that the infinite card back? They may be infinite already. It is decently far into the season. I could see them being infinite. Let's go ahead and let's do Bucky Barnes into Shadowland. Next turn we can do a Squirrel Girl and a Carnage. That's going to help us make sure our Carnage is as big as possible. And then we also destroy as many cards in this lane as possible as well. Ooh, and then we get the Killmonger, which is huge value for us. I almost want to snap into this. This location could turn into Shadowland as well, and we get another destruction with Killmonger. Between their Ninja and their Korg, I think we can get Death where it's free. We're going to go ahead and snap into it. Now, they could have, seeing the Korg, the Zabu, this is a Hawk deck. It's probably a Hawk Dino deck. And so if we can get a good wave off where we can do 2 cards and they can only do 1, then I think at that point we just win. Wow, they early drop their Hawk. That's kind of crazy. I mean, we'll take it, but it's still kind of crazy. So we just make sure we take out the Hawk, right? That's our priority. We could do Killmonger. But I think it's more beneficial for us to take out Hawk now. That'll be the 4th card that's destroyed, so then if we wave into the Death, she'll be free. Let's go ahead and do that. And they could have a Devil Dino. Ooh, the Mystique is big. the Mystique copying the Hawk. But it looks like we're probably going to push for mid and right as our win lanes. Iceman's not what we needed to see. All right. So do we want to, how do we want to do this? We could do wave in the right lane. And then I think we hold our Iceman just in case we top deck into She-Hulk. We have a 1 out of 5 chance of top decking into She-Hulk here. Let's go ahead and go with that. Ooh, and they do a double drop in Stark Tower in the right lane, so that's a little bit scary. Okay, the Black Widow. We're not going to draw into She-Hulk. Okay, so if they have a Dino, then I think their Dino just beats us in Stark Tower, right? Because this is only within 5. I guess their Dino is not very big. It would go down to 2, 4, 6, 9. 9 brings them to 17, 5, 6, 7, 8, 18. I think this wins, yeah? Dr. Doom wins. So also the other good thing with this deck is if the opponent sees wave, they have to at least respect the fact that you might have those combo pieces already in hand. And so I'm assuming we're calculating as if we had a Death, as if we had a She-Hulk and a Dr. Doom. And so even though we didn't quite have the ideal line, we were still able to find a way to win. We forced the retreat. Let's go ahead and take the 2 cubes. We'll jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Killer Monkey. And in our starting hand, we have the Wave, the Death, the Dr. Doom. 3 beautiful pieces of the combo. Now we just need things to destroy, whether that be the opponent's 1-cost cards, which with bounce being a little bit more common, is a thing that we've seen. Being able to get a little bit more reach from the Killmonger. If not, we do have several cards of our own that we can use to destroy. And so, ooh, that is beautiful. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Do we snap into it? I almost want to go ahead and play Yondu. We're going to snap, and then we're going to skip. Right now, all that we've shown them is Iceman. So they don't know that we're running Death Wave, and they don't know that we have the ideal playline. They, of course, haven't played anything either, but knowing that we have our ideal line, I think it's okay. Oh, and they don't skip there to destroy the Collapsed Mine. Interesting. Okay. We have Dr. Doom that can help us reach this way a little bit further. So let's go with Yondu and Deathlock over here. Our Death is discounted enough. She doesn't need any more help. And then we can wave next turn. And then we can do Dr. Doom and Death. Maybe even if we top deck She-Hulk, we can do Dr. Doom, Death, and She-Hulk and just really obliterate them. That was a black and white Nova. I couldn't tell if it was a... Killer Monkey's not a bot, right? Pretty sure they're a real person. They're a real boy. Although having a base Juggernaut, it seems odd. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play it. We'll play it by ear. We can get 5 over here if they have a Silver Surfer, which is what this deck kind of looks like, is a Silver Surfer deck. If they have Silver Surfer, then, I mean, they win this lane. But can they win the other ones? I assume they probably have like a Killmonger, maybe? A Killmonger would clear up this lane and they wouldn't actually have to skip, which would kind of make sense as to why they played the Storm into Juggernaut. Okay, so Goose, that's fine. And then Killmonger, yep. So I think it's just a Silver Surfer or maybe Death Wave enjoyer. Because this is, yeah, that's a black and white Killmonger, but it has the border and everything. Let's do Dr. Doom here and here. We're going to do Death. And that at least gets us some power here. It helps us win here. Here, they can do 2 cards, any 2 cards. If they do Silver Surfer, oh, maybe they do, oh. They might win this one. I might not be able to win this one. Death is fine in mid, but with the threat of Silver Surfer being in the mix, we might lose this one. Ooh, okay. So I'm guessing they didn't have their key resources. But we got very lucky. We got fortunate. We're going to go ahead and take the 2 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right. Next up, we have Killer Monkey again. And it's one of my least favorite things about this matchmaking system is that sometimes you go against the same person 2, 3, 4 times in a row. Whether you win or lose, it always feels a little bit worse. I never feel great following that up. Now, Sinister London is interesting, or mainly for them, but maybe a little bit for us. So, oh wait, they switched. They switched off of what they were running before into a Thanos list. So Sinister London's actually not all that impressive for them. I'm gonna do Bucky Barnes. We're gonna look for a way to destroy that and turn it into Winter Soldier. Ooh, they use their Reality Stone on the right lane, so they don't change Sinister London, which for a Thanos list is not all that great. Oh, we hit their leech with we hit their leech with an Iceman, but they did a double time stone here, so that brings them up. Oh no! Oh no! Why would you do this to us? Okay, so that brings them up to 6 this turn. They're gonna do leech, and it's going to be really, really unfortunate. So we either wave here, but I don't think that's the play. I think we Yondu, Killmonger. That will take out this lane. It'll take out all of their stones when we top deck a death, because we're going to top deck a death. No doubt about it. We're going to top deck a death. When we top deck it, we're going to get so much value. And so I assume this is a double leech. I don't think this is anything else. We take out their lockjaw, which is big. The power stone, not as big. Unfortunately, that is what it is. All right, so we do the Killmonger, the double leech. Seeing the leech from the Daily Bugle, it got hit with Iceman, which was great until they had the double time stone instead. And so it's one of those things. It is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and do Deathlock. And then we're going to top deck Death next turn. Or She-Hulk. Or both. Somehow we're going to top deck both. The Iron Man is big and scary. This is the Death version, isn't it? The Death Wave version. Oh no, they have Death. They have Death in hand. I mean, so do we, but they get double value from it. Do we hope that they don't have it? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hope that they don't have it. I think we lose this one. As long as they have Death or She-Hulk, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna lose this one. But ooh, they only play one card here. Do we overpower it? The Devil Dino. Devil Dino's big. Where does it go? The second one goes to the left. We went left and far right. Oh my gosh. Oof, that's a big oof. Sometimes you get lucky. This one we should not have won, but by being able to anticipate the leech play, we were able to play around it just a little bit. We were able to discount our death far enough. Luckily for us, they did not have death in hand. It was somewhere in the bottom 5 of their deck. And so if they had it, this would have been a no contest. They just didn't have their ideal draw. Luckily, we got very lucky on that top deck on the last turn. We're gonna go ahead and end the video here. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like and a comment down below. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.